You are now listening to the Vegan Stuff podcast with Caavakushi.
Hosting this podcast today are our two AI hosts, Sam and Kim. If you simply can't get enough of us, go to caavakushi.com and sign up for our vegan newsletter and get our free 7-day high-protein vegan meal plan. And we also have some good news. We will be releasing our first ever cookbook pretty soon, so stay tuned. Hey, don't forget to follow us on our socials too.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Vegan Stuff with Caavakushi. I'm Sam, and I am so excited to jump into today's deep dive.
I'm Kim, ready to go.
So today we are going to be taking a closer look at the amazing Billie Eilish and how she's really woven veganism into her life and her career.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of articles and interviews about her whole journey, her activism, and her plant-based lifestyle. So
yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too. What I think is really cool about her is that she's not just dabbling in veganism. It's a core part of who she is. And she's using her huge platform to advocate for animals and a plant-based life.
Yeah, for sure. And so many celebrities kind of jump on the vegan bandwagon for a hot minute and then they kind of fade away. But Billie's commitment has been so strong, and she started at such a young age.
Yeah, she went vegan at 12.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Imagine being 12 years old and having that conviction.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she learned about factory farming and decided to go vegan, which was definitely influenced by her mom, Maggie Baird, who's also vegan and an activist.
Yeah, I love that. Talk about a power duo.
Right.
The animals.
And she said that giving up dairy was hard at first.
Oh, yeah.
Especially cheese. Who doesn't love cheese?
Oh, I know.
But she persevered, and now she is fully plant-based. And she says her skin has never looked better.
I was going to say, that's a common thing I hear from new vegans, that their skin is
amazing,
glowing and clear. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
So let's talk about her advocacy, because she is using her voice to speak out against animal agriculture. And she's not afraid to call out the dairy industry for its cruelty and the impact that it has on the environment.
I think what's really impactful is that she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. Yeah. Remember when she shared that undercover footage from Fair Oaks Farms?
Oh, yeah.
And exposed, the horrible conditions?
It was a real eye-opener for people, about where their food comes from and the impact of their choices.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not just social media posts and speeches. She's actually shaping the landscape of vegan fashion.
Right.
Her partnership with Nike to create vegan Air Jordans and Air Force Ones was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about stylish and sustainable. Those sneakers are cool and made with recycled materials.
Huge win for the planet.
And her influence on high fashion, don't forget she convinced Oscar de la Renta to stop using fur after they dressed her for the Met Gala.
I forgot about that. Wow.
That was huge. That's a sign that things are changing in the fashion industry, that compassion and sustainability are getting some traction.
For sure.
If she can sway Oscar de la Renta, anything is possible.
Totally. And then her Happier Than Ever tour was completely plant-based.
Yes.
From the backstage catering to the concession stands, it was incredible.
That's walking the walk. I mean, that's massive. Prioritizing veganism on a tour like that is a huge win for the movement.
For sure. And it normalizes plant-based eating for her fans, which is awesome.
Totally. And it's not just about deprivation. It's about enjoying delicious food and, making a difference.
Yeah. And speaking of making a difference,
yeah.
Support Plus Feed, the nonprofit that she started with her mom.
Oh, yeah.
They provide meals from vegan restaurants to people in need.
It's so awesome, and they're helping communities and supporting vegan businesses. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. And I mean, her dedication to making veganism accessible and delicious doesn't end there.
Oh, no.
She's opening a vegan Italian restaurant.
Oh, hold on. Vegan Italian food.
No, right? And it's called Argento in Silver Lake.
I'm already drooling.
I know, me too.
Fine dining, vegan Italian.
Yes.
This is a game changer.
She's teaming up with Phineas, her brother, and Nick Adler, who's a restaurateur.
This is going to be huge. I mean, she's really showing the world that vegan food can be just as good as anything else out there.
Yeah, it's not just bland tofu and sad salads anymore.
No, not at all.
Okay, so we've talked about her journey and her advocacy and her business ventures.
Yeah.
So let's get into what does she actually eat? What fuels this powerhouse?
Right. So it looks like Billie has a bit of a sweet tooth. She loves to bake vegan cookies.
Oh.
Especially peanut butter chocolate chip, which who doesn't love that?
I mean, con.
And she even said that baking is therapeutic for her, which I totally get. It is like edible meditation.
I love that, yeah.
But cookies are not the only thing on her plate.
Oh, what else?
She's also a big fan of spicy food and vegan burritos.
I love a good vegan burrito.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That's awesome.
And her tour diet has evolved so much over the years. I read that in her earlier tours, vegan options were pretty limited.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine trying to find good vegan food on the road, like, back then.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It must have been a challenge.
But now she's got like a whole team dedicated to making sure she's well fed with amazing plant-based food.
That's awesome.
So that's good. You know, it's a good sign that vegan options are becoming more abundant, and it's thanks to people like Billie who are demanding those better options.
Totally.
And you can't forget her love for animals.
Oh, yeah.
She's a huge horse girl.
Ah.
Yeah. She used to ride competitively. Now she just enjoys casual riding and, you know, just being around horses.
That's so sweet.
And during the pandemic, she adopted a pit bull from Angel City Pit Bulls.
Oh.
Which is so great, you know, giving a loving home to a rescue animal. But there is a bit of a twist in Billie's vegan story. She's admitted to occasionally wearing leather shoes.
Interesting. So does that mean she's not really vegan? That's a question I think a lot of people have.
It's definitely a topic that causes debate in the vegan community. Some people believe that any use of animal products is incompatible with veganism.
Yeah.
While others argue that it's about doing the best you can and minimizing harm.
Right.
And she acknowledges this. You know, she's talked about striving to balance her advocacy with respecting people's choices and not being preachy.
Right, which is, I think, the best way to go about it.
Yeah, shaming people is not going to win anyone over to veganism.
Exactly.
And she is constantly learning and growing and using her platform to have a positive impact.
And what's really fascinating is how she connects veganism to, like, these big global issues like climate change.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't shy away from those conversations at all.
Right. Like, remember the overheated event she hosted in London?
Oh, yeah.
At the O2 Arena?
That was incredible.
For 6 days, that arena was totally vegan, no animal products anywhere, and they even served impossible foods like meatless sausage and chicken parmesan.
I know, and she had all these expert speakers talking about climate change and animal agriculture, like Robbie Lockie from Plant-Based News.
Yeah, she used her platform to amplify the voices of experts in the movement. And you know what she was saying is that you can't talk about climate change without talking about animal agriculture.
Exactly. It's all connected.
It's all part of the same system, and we have to address it all if we want to have a sustainable future. And Billie gets that, and she's not afraid to talk about it.
So before we wrap things up, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think is Billie's most effective strategy for advocating for veganism?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of things. First, she's authentic.
Right.
Like, you can tell she really believes in what she's saying.
You can spot a fake from a mile away.
Yeah.
And she is not faking it.
Not at all. And second, she's strategic. She's not just posting randomly about veganism. She's partnering with brands, hosting events, and creating real change in industries like fashion, food, and music.
It's action. It's not just talking.
Exactly. And she's not afraid to be controversial. Remember when she called out people who eat meat despite knowing about the cruelty?
Oh, yeah. She said she felt sorry for them.
Yeah, which is not exactly sugarcoating it.
No.
But sometimes that's what it takes to get people thinking.
It's about challenging the status quo.
Exactly.
Which she's really good at.
Yeah. And I think her age helps too. You know, she's part of Gen Z. They're very aware of social and environmental issues, and they're not afraid to demand better.
And she is a great representative for that generation.
Yeah.
Showing them that you can make a difference.
No matter your age.
Which is really inspiring.
Yeah.
Gives me hope for the future.
Me too.
If a 21-year-old musician can do all this.
Yeah. Imagine what we can do.
Exactly. We all have a part to play.
And it starts with making conscious choices in our lives.
What we eat, what we wear.
How we use our voices.
All of it.
We can all create a kinder, more sustainable, more just world for everyone.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah. But before we go, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
What do you think is the most effective way to advocate for veganism and animal rights today?
That's a good one.
Share your thoughts with us on social media.
Yes, please do. And be sure to check out Billie's music and her new restaurant and the awesome work of Support Plus Feed.
Her journey shows that even small actions can make a big difference.
Did you know we have a vegan search engine, a vegan forum, a vegan newsletter, and so much more coming soon? So why not check us out at Caavakushi.com.
It's just really inspiring to see someone like her constantly pushing those boundaries and like challenging the status quo. You know, it's not just about her music. She's using her platform to really spark these important conversations and make actual change.
Yeah, and I love that she doesn't shy away from the complexities of veganism.
Right.
She's really open about her struggles, her imperfections, and the challenges of, you know, living in a world that isn't fully vegan.
Right. And I think that makes her so much more relatable, you know?
Totally. It's refreshing to see a celebrity admit that they're not perfect. It makes veganism feel less intimidating and more achievable.
Totally. It's like she's saying, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying my best and you can too.
Exactly. And it's all about progress, not perfection.
Speaking of progress,
Yeah.
let's talk about Billie's veganism and how it like intersects with the fashion world.
Yeah, her influence in fashion is really remarkable. And it's not just about wearing cool vegan sneakers.
Right.
Her willingness to use her fashion choices to make a statement, like convincing Oscar de la Renta to ditch fur.
Right. That's huge. That's a testament to like the power of conscious consumerism, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like when celebrities like her use their influence to demand those ethical and sustainable options,
Right.
it sends a message
A strong one.
to these brands.
Yeah.
And it helps normalize those choices for consumers. It's like if Billie Eilish can rock a vegan dress at the Met Gala,
Right.
then I can definitely find some cool vegan shoes.
Totally. And it's not just about individual choices. She's advocating for systemic change in the fashion industry.
Right. It's not enough to just have a few vegan options here and there.
Right.
We need like a fundamental shift in how clothes are produced.
Absolutely.
How materials are sourced, how workers are treated.
It's about creating a fashion industry that's sustainable from start to finish.
And she's helping to pave the way.
Okay, so let's talk about food.
Yes. My favorite subject.
I mean, she makes veganism look so fun and delicious.
I know, right?
Remember that interview where she was talking about baking vegan cookies?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I ran to the kitchen after watching that.
Me too.
I was like, I need to make cookies.
And she's not just into sweets. Like her love for spicy food.
And burritos.
Oh, the vegan burritos. It's legendary.
It's legendary.
It just proves that vegan food can be so bold and flavorful and satisfying.
It's not just bland tofu and rabbit food.
Oh, not at all.
And, you know, she's making it accessible through her restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Argento.
It's going to be so interesting to see what kind of food they come up with.
I know, right?
Inventive, delicious, Instagram worthy.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, it's not just fancy restaurant food. She's a big proponent of those simple home-cooked meals, too.
Yeah, she's talked about making vegan mac and cheese and things like that.
Right. It's approachable. It's budget-friendly.
It's not intimidating.
You don't have to be a celebrity chef. And I think her passion for veganism shines through in her music, too. Have you noticed how many of her songs touch on themes of compassion and empathy and connection to nature?
Oh, totally. It's like woven into her lyrics, her visuals, her whole artistic expression.
Take her song, All the Good Girls Go to Hell. Like, the lyrics are about environmental destruction and the consequences of our actions.
Yeah, and her video for When the Party's Over, she's like covered in black goo, which a lot of people interpret as a commentary on pollution.
Right. It's like she's holding up a mirror to society, you know? Making us confront these uncomfortable realities.
And she's not just pointing fingers, she's offering hope.
Right.
And calling for action.
I think Everything I Wanted is such a beautiful expression of empathy. The lyrics talk about wanting to protect someone from suffering.
It's so heartfelt, and it aligns with those core values of veganism, you know? Caring for others, reducing suffering.
It's like her music is an extension of her vegan ethos.
It really is.
And it's reaching millions of people.
It's so powerful. It's a reminder that music can be a force for good.
And she's not afraid to get political either.
Oh, no, not at all.
Remember when she encouraged her fans to vote?
Oh, yeah.
She made it clear that she believes in using her platform to amplify important causes.
He walks the walk.
It's so important for young people to see that.
I think it gives a lot of people hope for the future.
It gives me hope.
Me too.
And it's a reminder that we all have a responsibility to speak up for what we believe in.
Yeah. Whether it's voting or having conversations,
Big or small.
we can all make a difference.
We can learn from her approach. She's authentic. She's strategic.
And she's not afraid to have fun.
Right. Veganism doesn't have to be doom and gloom.
It's about celebrating life,
Connecting with nature.
creating a world where everyone can thrive.
And she's a perfect example of that.
So before we move on, let's just take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far.
Yeah. What are some key takeaways that have resonated with you?
I think for me, it's the authenticity piece. You know, her passion for veganism is so real, and that's what makes her message so powerful.
I agree. And for me, it's that power of using your platform to make a difference. She's not just talking, she's walking the walk.
Absolutely. And inspiring people while she's doing it.
So inspiring.
Incredible to see.
So in the next segment, we'll delve into some of the challenges of veganism in a non-vegan world.
We'll talk about navigating social situations, dealing with criticism.
Staying true to your values.
That's not easy.
So stay tuned.
Did you know we have a vegan search engine, a vegan forum, a vegan newsletter, and so much more coming soon? So why not check us out at Caavakushi.com.
Welcome back to Vegan Stuff with Caavakushi. It's been so cool diving into Billie Eilish's world and seeing how she's made veganism like a part of everything she does.
It's amazing how much of an impact she's had at such a young age. I mean, she's a cultural icon and a leading voice for a generation that really cares about social and environmental justice.
Yeah, and she's not afraid to talk about the hard parts of veganism.
Right, yeah.
Like the challenges and the imperfections and, trying to live by your values in a world that isn't always so vegan friendly.
It's so refreshing to see that kind of honesty, especially from someone who's in the public eye all the time. It reminds us that veganism isn't about being perfect.
Right.
It's about making progress.
Exactly. It's about learning and growing and making good choices, even when it's hard.
And that's something Billie really shows us. Like, she's not afraid to admit when she messes up. Remember when she talked about wearing leather shoes sometimes?
Yeah, it started a really interesting conversation about, what it means to be vegan and how to live in a world that's not vegan.
And I think it's good to have those conversations.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about the gray areas. It doesn't make veganism less important.
It makes it more real.
It's about having compassion for ourselves and others, We're all on a journey.
Yeah. And what else I noticed is how strategic she is with her advocacy.
Right.
She's not just randomly talking about it. She's really planning things out, working with brands, using her platform to get those messages out there.
Yeah, she's trying to make real change in industries like fashion and food and music.
And she does it with such style and creativity. Remember that meme she shared about vegan chicken nuggets?
Oh yeah, that was so good.
So funny. And it got people talking about plant-based alternatives.
She's making veganism cool.
Yeah.
She's making it fun.
And she's not afraid to call out injustice.
Right.
Whether it's animal cruelty or climate change.
Like that speech she gave at the climate march.
Oh man. So powerful. She really believes in what she's saying.
It was a call to action.
It was.
It was a reminder that we have to protect the planet.
And she didn't just talk about the problems. She offered solutions and gave people hope.
It's amazing how she takes all that passion and turns it into action. She's a true leader.
It makes me feel hopeful seeing young people like her stand up for what they believe in.
They're not waiting for permission. They're just doing it.
And they're doing it together.
With so much passion.
It's inspiring. And it reminds us that we all have a role to play in making the world a better place.
Absolutely. Every choice we make matters.
So let's learn from Billie. Let's share her message. Let's work together to create a world where all beings can thrive.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's about it for our deep dive into the world of Billie Eilish.
It's been so fun.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you learned something new and felt inspired.
Don't forget to check out Billie's music, her restaurant Argento, and support plus feed.
And let us know what you think. How are you bringing veganism into your own life?
Share your thoughts with us on social media.
Every little thing we do could make a difference.
Until next time.
Stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep on diving deep.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked this episode. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. Also, we would be so appreciative if you could just share this episode or this podcast with all your friends and family who are vegans or vegan friendly. We're also really excited because we are going to be launching something really cool pretty soon on the site, so keep an eye out for that. And we will see you really soon with a new episode.